What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Aaliyah if you guys are new here, and welcome back if you guys are returning. In today's video we are going to be going over this look. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? We're gonna be going over the beat, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into the video. So the very first thing I like to do is go in with my moisturizer. This is the Nivea Soft Refreshing Soft Moisturizing Cream for your hands, body, and face. And I like to go in with that first before I put my foundation on. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop in the shade 18 all over my face. And I just like to just dot it. You don't have to apply it like this if you don't want to, but I just like to dot it all over my face. And this is actually very buildable. Kind of gives like a tinted moisturizer, but it's not a tinted moisturizer, but it's more so like a light foundation, if that makes sense. It's not heavy, so you could build it to like a medium coverage if you want to, or full coverage. I just do one layer of this, to be honest, and then I'm going to blend that out. And I like to use the Real Techniques brushes as well. Those brushes are so good. Literally, I've had these brushes for so freaking long, to the point where now they just look stained. They could be clean, but they just look stained. Real Technique brushes are the bomb.com, but at the end of the day, like, it just boils down to like what kind of coverage you're looking for, because every type of brush is going to give you a different type of, like, it's just going to blend out differently. Foundation brushes are usually more dense compared to like powder brushes. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. And when I'm doing this, I just like to pat. I'm not swiping because I want the product to stay exactly where I put it. I don't like to move my foundation. I don't like to move the product all over my face. That's exactly what I'm doing. I just like to pat. Of course, right here, I'll like pat upwards, if that makes sense, but I'm not like swiping. I don't like to swipe. I just like the product to be exactly where I put it. And honestly, one thing I love about the Eavesdrop is if you wanted to wear this, I've seen a couple of girls wear this just by itself and go outside. Like, you could do that if you want to. I mean, you could do that with any foundation if you want to, but yeah, you could definitely do that with the Eavesdrop if you want to. Also, a tip, I like to just have all my brushes laid out because I'm an out of sight, out of mind type of person, and I will forget stuff, start looking for stuff, and it would just be a hot mess. So if you're like me, having everything laid out in front of you is going to be so helpful, and it's going to help you do your makeup faster. For concealer today, I want to do a little bright eye. So I'm going to go in with the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 13. What I forgot to show you guys was me doing my eyebrows. I usually put the eyebrow wax on there, but I'm just gonna brush through my brows. I mean, I'm gonna put the wax all over my brows. I just like my eyebrows being in place when I'm doing them, and the wax makes sure that it doesn't like move all over the place, because my brow hairs can be a little ghetto. Brows all together. Of course, I'm gonna have to wash the brush because ew. I'm going to put the concealer literally right here. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm literally just putting it right here. I should make this a little straighter along the bridge of the side of my nose, and then angle going that way. Inner corner, drag down, and as if you're doing like a flick it going up. So that way when you blend it out, like, it just gives you like that eye lift. You catch my drift? Dot on the nose, bridge of nose, forehead of course, and the chin. I like to let my concealer dry down a little bit before blending it out. I don't like putting this concealer underneath my eyes, well, my eyebrow too much, because it can be a little bright, but I'm gonna do a little bit today. It's not bad, but it just kind of goes for whatever look that you're going for. And since this is like an everyday type of glam, like, we don't want it to be a little too extra. Like, I know I could be a little extra sometimes, but we don't want it to be too extra. So now that has dried down a little bit, I'm gonna go in with my concealer brush, and yes, it broke, so I've had this brush for so long, but I'm gonna blend out. A nice tip that I like to do is go over the edges of the concealer that I blend out with my foundation brush. Nothing new on it, just the foundation brush. And it just makes it a little bit more seamless, if that makes sense. And before I do the rest of it, I want to blend out the under eye. That looks really nice. So it's not too much. And of course, like before, we are patting, not swiping. Quick short tap the outside of it first on both sides before I go on the inside and blend. So I'm blending the edges first, if that makes sense. Okay, the edges are blended out. Now it's time to go on the inside. And we are just doing that patting motion. We are not swiping because we want it to stay exactly where we put it. You see how it's giving me like an eye lift already just by blending it out? Yeah, that's what you want. Now I just like to tap right here to blend out that edge. And on the inner corner as well, so it blends out. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup sculpting stick. Is this a sculpting stick? The bronzer stick in the shade Blitzed It for my contour. The way this blends, okay, so the corner of your hair, where your hair is, you see where my hair is right here? That's like a guide for me. That's what I use as like a guide to make sure that I'm doing it properly. So that's a tip. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys as well. And I'm just gonna go around my forehead. My forehead is so big. I don't ever notice how big my forehead is until I do certain hairstyles. But it's like, is my forehead really that big? You can do here if you would like. And then I'm gonna go in with my brush that I use for my nose contour. I'm going to on the bridge of my nose and blend it into my eyebrow, just like that. And I'm just going to pat. I'm not swiping either. I am just patting. And I just do it with a light hand, just like this. Just like that. Nose is snatched. Because where did it go? And I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques brush again. You see how like my jaw look a little bit more defined now that that's there. So this is the other side. Of course it's gonna look more defined because I haven't blended it out, but I'm pretty sure as you see, as I started blending it out, it just looked a little bit more defined. And I'm gonna go over here and do the same thing, and I'm just gonna blend out the remainder of my face. I like to go back over with my foundation brush on the edges of this part where I put my contour on my jawline, just so it doesn't like look a little too harsh. The way this bronzer blends out so pretty, the formula on this is just immaculate. Like, it's crazy. Wow, that looks so pretty. Go back in with my foundation brush, nothing new on it again, but I'm going over the edges of that contour as well, so everything looks well blended. And for my forehead, I just like to blend in between where the highlight and the contour meet, so you can't really tell where one begins from one stops, if that makes sense. Like, we like everything seamless around here, okay? Now we are going to move on to the powders. For my powders, I like to use the Laura Mercier setting powder in the translucent honey shade. Then for bronzer, I like to go in with the Sephora matte bronzer in the shade 5. To set my entire face, I'm gonna go in with the Sephora micro smoothing finishing powder. I believe this is the name for this one. I can't remember what this one is called, but I'm gonna find it and link it down in the description box down below as well. First of all, I need to re-up on this because Sweetheart is almost done. That's just, I'm sad because I know a lot of people say that they experience creasing after doing their under eye. Your eye is always gonna crease, but to minimize the creased look, I like to tap underneath, fill in those lines, and then I go right in with the setting powder right there. And the same thing I did with the concealer, where I angled it a little bit to give that like up look. I don't even know what to call that, but to give it that look like that, I'm gonna do that with the setting powder, and I'm gonna repeat on the other side. So maybe like that. And I'm always going to bring it on the side of my nose as well. And I'm gonna put more setting powder on the areas that crease, only on the front, because usually like the front creases a little bit more. So I like to put it there. Also, I want to note that I didn't use any primer, but the typical primer that I would use in the beginning after my moisturizer would be the Hydro Grip Primer from Milk Makeup. That primer is going to make sure your face is snatched. Your makeup is not going anywhere. Your makeup is going to last for a long time. I remember one time I did a photo shoot and I did my makeup for the photo shoot using the primer. My makeup was on for 16 hours and did not look any different than when I first did my makeup. So that primer, your face is not going anywhere, okay? Powder where I put my highlights as well here on my forehead. And then I'm gonna turn my powder puff like on the side like that and dip into the cover and just go along the bridge of my nose. The same way I had all my liquid brushes pulled out, I'm going to have my powder brushes pulled out as well. I like to use a blush brush. It says it's a blush brush on it. It's a Real Techniques brush as well. And you see how it's like fluffy. Blush brushes are typically fluffy. This is a blush brush as well. I like to use blush brushes for my contour, so it could just be really like, it's there, but it's not like, damn, I can see your contour, if that makes sense. Like, it's very subtle. It gives it like a subtle type of look, if that makes sense. And I'm going in with my Sephora matte bronzer powder, and I'm just gonna go right here on the side, and whatever's left on my brush, I'll just tap a little bit and put a little bit more here. But wherever you put your contour is exactly where you're gonna put it. I don't really like putting it here, but I'm gonna put a little bit here, and it just brings the life back to your face. So I'm leaving that right here. I'm not gonna put it up just as yet, but I'm gonna go in with my Sephora Micro Finishing Smoothing Powder. And this is a powder brush, so it's bigger and it's more condensed, if you can see. This is to set my entire face, but also dust off the setting powder that I have. So I'm gonna tap a little bit here, and I'm just tapping it. And then I'm gonna tap this all over my face. I'm tapping right here as well. I'm tapping it all over my face again. And then for the under eye and my nose, I'm just gonna dust it off. And when I'm dusting it off, I'm like doing little patting motions, if you could tell. And then for the inner corner though, I actually dust it off. But I'm gonna put this on the edge as well, so it just blends seamlessly. I also don't put anything on my eyelids for this type of look, so I'll just put a little bit, whatever's left on my brush, I'll just dab the brush onto my eyelids like that. And you want to make sure that you get all of it. But you see how your eyes just look snatched, like you don't see any creases like whatsoever. Like, it's almost scary because where did the creases go? So now after that, I like to go back in with my bronzer powder because I feel like it kind of takes away just a little bit. And I'm just gonna go back over those areas just to bring some life back into my face. And I don't put contour powder on my nose either. I just leave leave it how it is, to be honest. You could do this last, but I like to do it while my face is almost done. Or you can start on your lips. And I did this so that way I could see my face. These lip liners, I have them listed in my description below. The link to them are in my Amazon storefront as well. I have it listed in my makeup must-haves. These lip liners, oh my gosh, gold. Now I'm gonna go in with the Peach Stock lipstick from MAC. I'm going back over with the liner. The liner kind of got washed out. I'm gonna add gloss at the end. So now I'm gonna do my eyebrows. And for eyebrows, I'm going in with the Morphe brow pomade in the shade Chocolate Mousse. Lord, words are hard today. Words are so hard today. What's going on? I gotta zoom in because y'all gotta catch my drift. You feel me? I like to start in the middle, right here. And then I'm going to work my way over to the tail. But I'm starting in the middle because that's where the darkest shade is going to go. And then I'm just going to bring it around to the tail. Like that. Always do the bottom first. I always do the bottom first. You don't have to do your eyebrows like this, but this is how I do it. It's not the sharpest right now, and that is okay. We're going to fix it afterwards. Now I'm going to do the top. Like that. It's gonna look a little crazy, and that's okay. We're not gonna walk out the house crazy. Whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna fill in the tail. The tail. And then I'm gonna go back to the front where there's a little bit of product left on my brush. And then I'm just gonna turn my brush on the flat side and just kind of brush the hairs down. And then go to the front and do light patting motions. At this point, nothing's gonna really be on your brush for the front when you get to the front, but that is okay because we want it to be blended pretty much. See how it's blended? For some reason on camera you can't really see the top, but in person it is blended. I'm gonna add a little bit more to the top though, because I don't like how it just looked like I got half a brow right here. No, that's not okay. Okay. And I'm being very, very light-handed. You see how you can see it now? We're gonna do the other side. But remember, sisters are not twins. Sisters are not twins. Brows are not twins, they're sisters. That's what I meant to say. Lord have mercy. I told you words are hard today. They look nothing alike right now, and that is okay because we're going to fix them. But this is what they look like. My brows never look the same when I'm like in the process of doing them. It's so rare, so don't feel bad if your brows are not coming out the same when you're in the process of doing that. It's okay, we can fix it. I'm gonna go back in with that concealer that I used in the beginning. I don't want to use a different concealer. I'm gonna use that same concealer, and I'm gonna use a concealer brush, a brush that's more defined. I'm gonna take a small amount on here, and I'm going to carve out my brow. And I like to do this looking down. See? That's all you have to do. And it's back to normal. Okay, just like that. So now I'm going to take a little brush, and it's an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to go back in with, first of all, I want to blend the edges just a little bit. edges are blended. So now I'm gonna go in with this and just tap into where I just put that concealer. And now I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream in the shade Fenty Glow. I love how this smells so much. It feels so hydrating, actually, if y'all haven't tried it. And for a little bit of pink, I'm gonna go in with the Pout Bomb from Makeup Revolution in the shade Candy, only in the middle. That's very, very cute. This is the finished look. This is my everyday makeup look. I hope you guys like it and you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's giving, right? It's like really soft and subtle. Give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to drop a comment down below and subscribe and join the family. And if you guys aren't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter for Fardoni. We are going to be dropping soon and we're always sending updates. So go ahead and join our emailing list. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.